Hello everyone, Jet here, and welcome back to my Stellaris playthrough as the Great Spork Empire, where we are playing as the Space Orcs, who are Fanatic, Militant Spiritualists. Now, we've moved on a few turns from before. Well, not turns, we don't really do turns, but as I'm sure you're aware, guys, I've been having quite big issues with my computer over the last few days. If you've been watching, and I've had a few crashes here because nothing really happened. We've just gone on in time and accepted that. Now, I understand that quite a few of my people who are watching, but my subscribers who are watching this haven't really played Stellaris before, and there's been quite big changes in this. So I'm just going to do a quick rush through what everything is. So if you're a happy Stellaris player, you feel free to jump ahead 5 minutes, and I'll probably 5-10 minutes I'll be back into the actual campaign proper. I'm going to be having time going on. However, there are a few changes, so even if you are somebody who's played Stellaris before, I'm going to be going over some of the changes. So if you're not sure on them, you'll at least get my take on them. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best take, it's necessarily 100% correct, but it'll give you a bit of a better idea of what's going on. So first of all, we're going to go through the very basics. We're just going to go along the top bar here. These are all different resources which are used in different ways, and these are different caps, these three here. So these are energy. It's one of your key resources. It's used for upkeeping various units, as well as now for getting leaders for your science. So like leaders are things like your scientists here and in your science ships, or the people who are in charge of your fleets or your armies if you want to put leaders into them. Minerals are used, that's very simple, they are used to build things. They also use a bit of they are also used a bit for ship upkeep as well. And consumer goods, which is what it says on the tin, it's consumer goods for your people, what your people need to be happy people. You can tinker with the amount they get from that for edicts, but I'm not going to be going into that today. Food is self-explanatory, it's the amount of food your people eat. Now, influence. This is a little bit more complicated. Influence is used for various things. There's various ways you can use it to buff up your empire. So you can use edicts, policies and edicts. Some of these edicts cost influence to do, and they all provide various buffs. It's also used when I'm expanding. So say I want to send a construction ship here to build an outpost. That's going to cost me some minerals and some influence. The reason it costs influence is because I'm exerting influence to take that territory into my empire, make that part of my empire. I can also use it to make claims on other empires' territory, which means if we go to war, if I get all of my war goals, I can take the claims I've made against them. War's a little bit more complicated now. I'm still getting to grips with it completely, because you can also go for a status quo war where it ends and you take what you currently control. It's nothing to do with music. I will apologise for the bad joke now. And then you've got Unity. Now, Unity opens up your traditions screen. Now, these are all different things you can go through. And they give you various different buffs. So the Supremacy one's all about military. The Discovery one's about discovery and technology. I usually go for it for this, the Planetary Survey Corps, which gives you a nice buff when you're exploring to your tech. But these are all different things. They have various different benefits, guys, which I'll go through when I'm doing. If you are playing this, have a look through. Lots of it's changed, but have a look through and you'll work out what's best for you. I would generally recommend going Discovery first, however, because the Planetary Survey Corps is rather OP early game because it gives you a lot of extra tech. These three are very simple. These are the amount of science buffs I get. So 18, 13 and 17 for different sciences. Physics, society and engineering, which goes towards this. That determines how quickly I'm getting my technologies. However, as you expand, as you can see there, I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen here, as you can see from this, there are plus percentages to the amount of time depending on systems and planets I control. So expanding quickly makes it harder to gain technology. It also means you need more unity to get things. Now, one thing I did miss, unity and influence, there are various buildings and techs which give you more of that, and they can be very useful. These are different caps. So 3 is... This is the amount of planets I can directly control without having to put them in a sector. I'll explain a sector shortly once I take another planet, which I'm about to do. This is my naval capacity, most capacity I can have. It's not the most ships, because some ships take up multiples of capacity, and how many star bases I can have, so my star base capacity. Okay, now, on planets, all these buildings do various things. It's quite self-explanatory. They all do various things, provide unity or various buffs to my bits and pieces. And obviously we've got my ship design screen where we make our ships. That's quite self-explanatory. Anybody can work out where Grond is from. Well, I won't be that impressed. It's from Lord of the Rings somewhere, but if you tell me exactly what it is, I'll be reasonably impressed. I think everybody should know lots about Lord of the Rings because I'm a little Lord of the Rings fan. So we are pulling some Lord of the Rings Orcs references into this. I kind of just gave you a hint there, guys, into this. So, and we've got our fleet manager here, which is where we set up our various fleets and we set up what ships are in them. You can reinforce your fleet from here and it will reinforce it to the best of its ability, or you can just do that from the screen here. Well, that's the basics, guys. There are other things in depth, which I will try and go into a bit more in depth as we're doing them. Now, right now, we are currently floating above this planet here. Now, this is a primitive planet. These guys are... I don't think they're even. I think they're Iron Age primitives, guys. And we are about to go and, we're going to go and enlighten them by force. Let's unpause. So my armies are now going to go down and land on this planet. Now, they've got more armies than me, but I should win. Ooh, we've just met an artisan troop. I'll go on to that in a bit. That's just a friendly group of people in a station.
Initiating ground assault. Victory shall be ours.
And we're putting my fleet above to help bombard the enemy into submission. Now, these guys are primitive, so my guys should win this with ease here. That said, they're fighting back quite well. Some of my Sporks are taking heavy damage there, but we are winning against these. Sorry, I dropped my wedding. I really need to stop playing with that. Please tell me off in the comments for playing with my wedding ring. I'm not joking. Tell me off every time you hear that. Tell me off for playing with my wedding ring, guys. And there you go. We have taken this. So subjugating primitives. Our armies have successfully invaded and subjugated or subdued the primitive forces on Vordkartorp. The locals have given up all attempts at fighting back, and we have subsumed their civilization into our empire. Although backwards as they are, it may take some time for natives to become fully productive members of Spork society. There you go. We have taken this over. So, ooh, that's the music. I was pausing there, so let's pause. So, this is now ours. It's only a small thing. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade all of these to things. Second thing I'm going to do, because we are now over our cap for planets, so we're going to put these guys into what's a sector. This is basically a self-governing chunk of space, and we can look at it from here. I'm also going to throw my governor from my main place to here, so that's going to give these guys a little bit of a buff. And effectively this is just a self-governing chunk of space which does itself. I can go in and manually tweak it if I want to, but there's not really much need to do that. I am, however, going to resettle a few Sporks here early on from some of my planets. I've only got one Spork here. Can I resettle one who's growing? There you go. I've got 2 Sporks here. I'm resettling these guys here. Oh, simply because I want to make sure that the Sporks spread nicely here as well. And as you've seen, guys, I am struggling because I'm getting too many Gobbos. The Gobbos are expanding a little bit too much. You can come back down here to this border now. let's buff up some of my buildings. I'm going to move you down here because we're having an energy deficit. Biolabs are actually the best one. Biolabs increase society research, guys, more than the others, and my society research is my lowest one, which is why I'm upping them. Obviously, you can get physics labs and engineering labs, which do the same things for other things. As you can see, my gobos are not good at generating energy because of their racial type, basically. That said, I need to have them generating it in some places simply because I'm so low on energy. Yeah, that's good. Let's just keep going then. So we've got our little sector here. That's going to unfortunately have a negative impact on all of my research because I've got another planet, but you know, it's beneficial long run. It's 50-50. I'm not so keen on building up at the moment. Now, one other thing I didn't mention earlier, guys, is, you know, as you expand into all these places, what we do... Oh, I've lost a scientist, so I need to recruit a new scientist. He died of old age, guys. Is every sector I go into, when I'm going into it, guys, I build a little space station which basically tells everybody it's mine. Now, these can be upgraded into bigger space stations, which are my space star bases, which can be used to defend or... Oh, we've met somebody in you. Okay, we're just going to say hello to these pumpkin or radish people. Now, these can be built up, as I have here, into defensive stations on my border, or as I've got here. This is a shipyard where I build more, where I can build more ships, and another new contact. So, yeah, more xenophobes, people who won't like me. Anyway, as I was saying, so this gives us a really nice thing, because like here and along here, we've got choke point systems. So say somebody on here went to war with me, they'd have to come through here. So if I build up this station and make it really powerful, it makes it really hard for them to invade here. And that's why we've got these here, because it stops them invading me quite as easily anyway. So it just keeps me that little bit more protected. Right, I'm going to save up for that. You can go fill in that gap. How am I doing on leaders? I can have an extra leader, so I'm going to build myself another science ship because I'm not exploring anywhere near enough just at the moment as far as I'm concerned. You can try and explore all the way around there. So, yeah, basically we found something. We're going to send it to our home world to try and find a military use for it. Marvellous! It buffs up our shield research. Right, you guys... How is this planet doing? Are we getting unrest here? They're not the happiest people. Unsurprisingly, having just been taken over by space aliens. Gonna abandon these guys, because putting them on the ground, daft as it may sound, doesn't actually help us maintain the planet. Ooh, we need to build a planetary administration here.
Construction complete.
Now, ooh, I can put martial law on, which would reduce any unrest. I'm not getting unrest there at the moment, so we'll leave it. But these guys are, yeah, they are going to have a debuff. What's their debuff? It's stellar culture shock. Because we've taken them over. They're also not happy that I've got population controls on. So, yeah. These guys aren't so happy because it's not the best habitable planet for them, but they'll be fine. God, they're still not all happy. They want us to unlock a harmony tradition.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
You can go and build a mining station there. You can get a new leader, and you can go off exploring like a good spork. Okay, we've just unlocked torpedoes. Oh, this is good. I'm going to unlock a star hold. This is the next level of starbase up from what I've got, guys. So I can buff these up and make them even stronger in this one if I want to. Now, the thing to be aware of when you're doing that is it does cost you money to maintain these things. And I believe the bigger starbases, unsurprisingly, cost you more to maintain. Now, I'm going to jump into my ship designer and we're going to swap these missiles over to torpedoes because these are close range, guys. I'm also going to put auto upgrade on all of these guys because that means they automatically upgrade to the new designs when I get there. But no, that means that he will... Ooh, do we have anything worth... Ooh, I don't have the energy, I remember now. You know, they will automatically upgrade these ships to the new designs when they get there. You guys can go and get an upgrade now. Now, this is the downside way I've done it, because these are obviously pure military stations. Whenever my ships upgrade, they do have to head back into my systems. But that's simply because... Well, it's not simply because, but that's because of the way I've got things set up. So they need to go back to repair, because I want these to be better military stations. Now, we are about to change something slightly. I'm going to make this place a starport. And this is going to become my shipyard, one of my shipyards. I'm going to build a shipyard up here as well, long run. We're going to jump forwards a little bit more shortly. Ooh, you can build a research there and a mining station there. We've just lost one of my scientists to old age. We'll get a new guy in and you can start exploring as well. I've got some building to do here. But anyway, the reason we're doing this, guys, is because here is actually going to get turned into something different. My starbase here is going to get turned into a
ships have been made superior.
Trading hub, and we can start earning energy in space from there as well, which is good. As we build that up. Okay, so not much going on at the moment. One thing I do want to be aware of, guys, which you probably missed, is here, these two guys are sort of pirate raiding factions who will occasionally demand money, demand resources off me. And I have to give them or they will invade me. And unfortunately, they're very powerful. So at this point in the game, having them so close to me is a real negative. That said, these guys are a stagnant ascendancy. So these guys are people who flourished millennia ago and, you know, are staggeringly powerful, but they're now withdrawn into their borders. So basically they're somebody I don't want to annoy. Hang on, we've got a Xeno Aidley. We've got... Oh! I don't want that. These guys are... Basically, these guys are xenophiles. They want to be friendly with the enemy. I'm suppressing that faction, which costs me influence. But it means populations are less likely to join that faction. In fact, I'm going to promote that faction as well, because I want more militants as well, which is burning through this. I probably didn't want to do that. Can I stop doing that?
Construction complete.
Yeah, let's stop promoting that. Costs us too much. We need another rival, basically, to get those guys really happy. But I need to border with somebody to get another rival. Okay, you can move back to the borders. I'm going to leave you at your current capacity while here builds up.
Construction complete.
Right, I want a shipyard, an anchorage, and a... something I can't build yet, so we're going to leave that. And you can now be changed around. I'm going to get rid of this. You're going to get the off-world trading company hub, which makes trading hubs generate more. I'm going to dismantle you. And we're going to get another trading hub. So we'll be generating 12 energy here. And as we go through all of these, that's just going to generate us a nice big chunk of extra energy from here. So that's going... It's a bit odd. It's a bit of an odd way of using a station. But I can still build defensing things around it. But it just means I'm effectively using that to generate more energy, guys. Can I actually see just how much energy these places cost me? That costs me upkeep of 3. So my starbase upkeep is 13.12. Now I'm just wondering if that's simply from guns. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we've got 2 of them. We don't have any here. 7, 8.
Construction complete.
9. So it's not that much, actually. It's gone up. So basically it's 1 per starbase. So starbases aren't actually that difficult to... oh, you can come back and research here from the other side of the galaxy, where you probably are now. So actually they don't cost that much to maintain. Okay, we're now going to push forwards again, guys, here. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pay attention to where I'm going. So what I want to do is I want to push forwards to another choke point. So what I want to do ideally is get the best positions. Because here I've got 2 choke points. Now, I'm not going to get that with here. However, so here will be a choke point. And here and here. And that gives me a nice solid choke point. Now, ideally what I'd like to do is push into here, get a choke point here. And I'm hoping if nobody's in here, that gives me a really nice area to cover. If there's somebody is in here, it gives me somebody else to crush. But no, as you expand, you want to really make sure you get your choke points correct, because they make a really big difference to your defences. I'm going to go for this because it ups my range, and we're going to pop out a couple of... No, I'm not going to bother with defence platforms just yet, while we're building up. You can swap with him because you'll generate more energy there.
Construction complete.
Okay, you can go here and build the research stations, get us a bit more research. Yeah, we'll grab some more ships. Now, I want to be careful with my ship capacity, because you ideally don't want to go over that. Because when you go over that, it starts costing you, they start costing you a lot more upkeep. So I can have 9 space stations at the moment, which is good. Theoretically, I might need to put another space station here long run, but at the moment, I don't need that.
System survey complete.
I'm going to build another energy providing one above here. The reason I'm doing those above planets is the off-world trading company needs to be from... Well, I've been told it needs to be above a inhabited planet. I can't see why, so we might have to have a double check of that. But also having your shipyards outside of inhabited planets isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it takes them off the beaten track a little bit. Which means, well, against players they'd certainly be less likely to be taken. Oh, we're already building another trading hub there. Okay. Now what I really should have done is built my shipyard right in the middle. If I'd built 2 shipyards there, they'd have been far safer, actually.
Anomaly found.
And yeah, that's giving me a nice buff to my energy, actually, so that's good. Ooh, we've got another tradition. I'm going to grab the Harmony ones to make my Harmony guys a little bit more happy. Well, actually, What do these guys want? No, nothing which I can get.
Found.
Met another. Oh, so there are more friendly ones. They're there. So if I push into here, oh, that's really annoying because that stops me getting that really good choke point there. It does mean I want to push up to this choke point quickly. So actually, you are going to stop building there. You are going to move down to here and build there. You as soon as, and we're going to try and push up to this choke point as quickly as we can. Because what we want to do is we want to try and stop these guys expanding into my arm. So if I can get them a choke point there, it's going to make them easier to fend off.
Situation log updated.
Okay. How's this going? It's almost done.
Construction complete.
Now again, I could push into here, but I don't really want to because of the because I'd lose choke points. I mean, I'd have to build 3 choke points, so I'm going to leave expanding into here. I've got plenty of room to expand up here, and again here I can get a good single choke point. In fact, up here is really good. I could get a choke point here and a choke point here, and then I can do 2 choke points on them ideally if I can get all the way up there. If I can get all the way up there. I mean, this is the thing. You've got to remember others. They are expanding, and I don't know if they think about choke points in the same way. None of these guys will expand, thankfully, which is good to know. Ooh, basic combat rolls. That's a nice buff for my spaceships. It means I can choose what they do in battle a bit more, which means that some of the names, the roles I've given them, will actually be a bit more sensible because you give them different roles and they fulfill them. Okay, that's been completed. Let's get you some bits and pieces to make you... you've got to have a trading hub before you can build an off-road trading thing there. So yeah, and that will buff us up once we've got the first one up, and that'll get us a nice chunk of extra energy again. I don't know how expensive star bases are. I'm going to have to go look that up because this might not be worth doing at all, actually. Okay, we've got a bit more influence. Let's you can jump up to here. We're jumping straight over the top. We're over capacity, so I want to be careful. That's costing us extra. You guys can upgrade, however. What did we upgrade? Oh, we've got better shields and things now, so... You can start moving here. You're not going to build it, because by the time you get there, this will have been built, and there's no point in me wasting money. Ideally, I'm just going to zerg up to here, guys, which is a little tricky. Oh, one of my scientists has died again. I'm getting through scientists quite quickly at the moment. Oh, that's annoying. That was the level 5 I was sending down.
Construction complete.
Ooh, you're a high-level scientist. Hang on, I've got a spare scientist. I need to get myself another spaceship. Not really a gobbo scientist there. Right, you can go to build a starbase there, and you can build stuff. So lots of extra research there for us, which will be good. They aren't full citizenship, let's just make sure, yeah.
Construction complete.
Whereas these guys can still spread, which is good.
Anomaly found.
Let's look at this planet. How's the planet
Our
doing?
ships have been made superior.
It's doing reasonably well. It's mostly producing food at the moment, admittedly, which is a little annoying.
Construction complete.
Okay, we just found I think that's a wandering jungle there, which is an interesting thing. Again, I'm not paying too much attention to all the little missions, guys, because while they're interesting, they are interesting lore-wise. If you play it yourselves, you'll get to see all of them. How are these guys doing? Their fleet power is inferior. I could do a lightning wall with these guys to capture these two systems. So do they have planets? They have a planet in this one, so I'd have to actually capture that planet. However, they are spiritualists, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. However, I could do a lightning strike on this system. Yep. Ooh! They want one of my scientists. Okay, I'm going to do that because they may give us a favour in the future. It's annoying because it was my highest level scientist, but that's potentially beneficial to us in the future. Right, so what we're going to do here, guys, let's make sure I've built here up. Here needs to be built up a little bit more, actually.
Anomaly found.
Is we're going to take this system and then we're going to try and force a peace treaty with them, just so I simply capture this individual system. It seems a little bit of a waste, but I want to go to war. It will make my military guys happy. I want to make them happy because they're not growing enough at the moment. So, and as you can see, when they're happy, it gives me extra influence, which is really beneficial. You can go there afterwards as well. The reason I'm pushing forwards is I want to make sure, because I want to make sure here is powerful enough so that once they... Oh, we can watch them come out. Oh, it just clicked. But no, that when their fleet attacks here, which it will, I'm more likely to be able to defend here. I'm going to change you for... No, I don't need the extra weapons range. Do these guys have a defensive pact with anybody? No.
At last, to war.
Now their space station is not as big. It's different. This is a nice thing. We will get that.
Our ships have been made superior.
So my fleet is in there. We've built up here. So here is nice and powerful now. Let's get another defense platform building here. So if their fleet jumps into here, it's going to get hopefully obliterated. Especially if they come as two separate fleets like they're currently doing.
Attack run on enemy station. Systems.
Whereas my guys are going to... All those missiles going in. Oof. And we're just going to zerg there. They're going to go in and these guys are sitting back and pounding, which is what I wanted them to do. And we now control this system, and we control everything in this system, which is very nice for us. No, we don't have anything there. I'm going to push down to Faram as well. I don't necessarily want to capture it, but I want to push more war weariness against them. Because if I get if I can get their war weariness, you can see here we've got various things, and they've also got war weariness, and so yeah, war exhaustion. Mine is 3, and theirs is 14. Now various things do that: the length of the war, how long you're fighting, if you're pushing into territories you don't have a claim on, your people don't actually like it, so your war weariness also increases quite big. Ooh, gonna get that doctrine. Fleet support ups my naval capacity. I don't want to push into here yet. However, if they jump through, that's perfect. So they're going to jump into my station here, and they're going to get obliterated there. Let's get energy grids. That's a very good technology. That technology helps me. I'll show you when I get it anyway. And my station is going to batter that fleet. Where's that other fleet? I don't want to jump into there just yet. Where's their fleet? Oh, is their fleet about to come at me? It is! Perfect!
They are assaulting our spaceport.
Okay, they do have a planet here, don't they? We're gonna have to take that. I'm gonna need to make some troops. What's the defences here like?
Battle is joined.
Yeah, I'm going to need to build a few more actually.
Anomaly found.
Oh, I'm actually low on energy. That's unusual. So these are armies. If I want to take a planet, I have to land armies on them. I can bombard them from orbit for as long as I want, guys. But if I want to capture it, I need to actually put troops on the ground. Now, this is the fun thing I can do now, guys. Is I can build defences here if I were to want, which is very nice. So I can use them to help defend there. Oh, you can jump into here now. So we will capture this system as well now. And theoretically, I can rampage through their entire systems, but as you see, my weariness war weariness went up a big chunk there. Ooh, I'm going to push to here, because if I can get all of that, that gives me a nice chunk of territory. That actually kills them if I do that. Ooh, this is the pirates demanding something off me. I'm not powerful enough to go against them yet. I'm gonna grab the mineral refineries because that gives me a 10% extra mineral bonus on the planets if I build it. Ooh, my fleet's taking a little bit of a battering here, but we're winning. Just make sure we've got a claim on this system. Yeah, we do. We can add claims to places. I didn't really want to take that other system. However, I have quite a lot of war weariness now. Yeah, I'm going to take a settle status quo. I won't take the places where they've got planets. I apparently didn't take anywhere. What? I should have captured here then. I'm confused by that. I thought I was going to get here. Anyway, never mind. Next time.
System survey complete.
And we will end this one here off that unfortunate war, which I don't quite get why we didn't capture at least Famir. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this, even if my war was a little bit of a failure there. Nope, as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you are enjoying watching the Great Spork Empire.